Virgo, what's up, y'all? How you guys doing? We're going to take a little look here today and see how these energies are looking for y'all in the last half of February. Such a short month, and the last half of February is an interesting transition that we're going through, so I'm just going to lump it all into one. I'm going to try to hit on a couple other scenarios and situations I haven't touched on, and all the other good stuff, details, timeline changes, you know the deal. If any of you are in need of a personal reading, all the information is in the description of this video. All right, I want to start this off with something I haven't hit on this month at all. The new person. The new person specifically. So I know that I did current person and blended new person and long-term person together. Then I did a separate one for the current long-term person. Now we're doing a separate one for specifically the new person. That's the reason why if you come to me for a personal reading and you get a general reading and you get the current relationship, I will ask you how long y'all have been together. That actually matters a lot. I mean, it matters a lot. The advice, everything is going to be very different depending on how long y'all have been together. So let's see how the energy is looking for the Virgos who recently connected with a new person. Now, when I say new person, personally, the intentions I'm putting into it is somebody you just connected with in like the last 3 months or so. But it's up for interpretation. Take it how it resonates. I guess if you've been with somebody for 8 months and that feels new, that's cool. Whatever. All right, let's see. How's the energy looking, Virgo and the new person? Hierophant reversed. Doesn't really look like a lot of commitments happening here. Somebody ain't committed to this. Ooh, damn. Damn, dog. You know what that means, right? Somebody walking the hell away from this. Somebody walking away. Uh-oh. Are you catching them in a lie? Is that what's going on? This is a pretty damn specific ass message. This is a pretty specific ass message. Looks to me like somebody getting caught in a straight up lie. I have a feeling some of you are already suspecting that they're lying about something. But it's feeling like you're getting the evidence that you're looking for. Catching them in a bold face, straight out and out lie. Boom. Ain't wasting no time. You've already had your hand on the doorknob the whole time. Pew! Later. You outie. Outie. Now, we don't need to talk about this, do we? I don't want to. So I know my long-term followers, you don't want to hear me go on this rant. I don't want to go on this rant. So I'm going to try to just set this off to the side. But if it does come out again, I'm going to have to touch on it. But codependency. A lot of codependency energy in this situation here. Anyway, let's see their feelings, energies, and intentions. New person Virgo's dealing with last half of February 2026. What's their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Hang on. First of all, they're immature as shit. They ain't even mature enough. Why do I see that come through the Virgo readings so frequently? I don't know why. That just doesn't... I wouldn't think that would be you. But I see that come through the Virgo readings more than any other sign. where this person isn't even really mature enough to play the role you would need them to play. They're not, you know? But honestly, they got their options open. I think there's one person that owns their heart. There's one person that really owns this person's heart, and they can't have them. It's probably a past person, probably. Right? There's somebody that owns their fucking heart, and all they're trying to do is get that person off their mind. You know? They want that person on their mind. They want a new person to come in and replace the person who really has their heart. And while I understand it doesn't work the way they think it's going to work, you know, I've been there. If you're in that place and you do end up getting your wish, you're going to end up with the same heartache, just with a different face and name attached to it, you know, because that's the frequency you're vibrating at. If you want somebody else to take their place, okay, I got you. The universe will do that for you. You want somebody else to take your place? Okay, no problem. Or you just going to end up with the same ass heartbreak, just a different face and a different name attached to it. Anyway, though, I don't think they're actually a bad person. This is where this gets hard. This is where the lines get blurry. I don't think they're coming from a place of trying to play games. Does that excuse shitty behavior? No, I'm not saying that. But I don't think at the deepest level this person has malicious intentions. I just think they're very lost, very confused, very scared, and very broken. I'm not saying that excuses lies and shitty behavior. But if it eases the tension a little bit, you know, I guess. I don't know. Everybody sees it differently. Some people may be able to find it easier to forgive somebody if they know that it's coming from a place of fear and brokenness rather than just maliciousness and evil. Sometimes it can be a little bit easier to forgive that, but at the same time, it's like, no, you're a fucking dumbass. No, fuck you. You know, I don't know. I don't think they're coming from a bad place. That doesn't excuse nothing. They're just scared and lost. Scared and lost, hurt, broken, and just reaching and grabbing and just frantically trying to replace somebody that has their heart, that fucking ripped it out and ran off with it. And, you know, you get it, right? All right, well, let's get the advice. What's the advice? What's the advice? Three of Swords reverse. Honestly, there's not really a lot you can do. This is one of them types of situations that kind of has to play out the way it's going to play out. I said that more times in the last 2 weeks than I have in the last 2 years. And remember how in the beginning of this video I alluded to the fact that the last half of February is this very interesting transition that we're kind of going through. You know, it's the last week of the year of the snake, the first week of the year of the horse. We're entering into a Mercury retrograde, right? We have one season left to wrap up this old cycle, right? Pisces season before Aries season kicks off in the new cycle. This is a huge transition that we're going through. This is the year we've all been waiting on. The year we've all been talking about, that we've all been anticipating for the last 3 or 4 years. This is the year. It's not speculation. It's not a prediction. It's on fucking paper. It's on paper, clear as day. You don't have to look very far to find it. This is the year we've all been waiting on. This is the year that changes everything. So this little stage that we're at right now, you know, is a key turning point. You know, the final shed of the old snakeskin. So sometimes you got to be put through some shit that just has to happen a certain way, man. It just has to, because later on down the line, later on this year, you're going to gain some wisdom from this situation that you're going to need to use just right around the corner. Right around the corner. You know, some of the open doors of opportunity that are going to make themselves available to you. People that you're going to connect with. Situations you're going to find yourself in. You're going to need some wisdom to function and operate in some of these situations. And you only gain wisdom one way. And this is one of those ways. So, I guess if there's any advice I really can give you, try not to let it eat you alive too much. I know that's hard. That's tough. That's tough. I mean, because like I said, I think a lot of you already had this intuitive feeling that this is coming anyways. Or you probably wouldn't even be watching this video right now, you know? You've already had that intuitive feeling that something's off. Something's not right, you know? And you're wondering if that's your intuition or if you're just tripping. No, that's your intuition telling you something's off here. That there's a lot to be learned from this situation. A whole lot, okay? Just try to trudge through it and extract as much wisdom from it as possible. All right. What am I reading next? Oh, yeah. Past person. Now, one thing I thought about, because I know we've touched on the past person like 2 or 3 times already. Maybe if you have a different past person. I see that a lot. That comes across my desk several times a week. People asking about multiple past people. Every now and then, somebody will come to me for a full personal reading, the 3-question reading. Every question is about a different past person. I swear to God, I see that. I do see that. Now, while if that's you, you got a lot of weight you need to shed before you're going to attract your divine life partner. A whole lot. If you're energetically tied to 3 or more fucking people, you got a ways to go before you're going to attract your person. Right? It's still good to at least get as much information as you can to help you release some of that shit, you know? So whatever past person comes to your mind when I say this, let's see what the energy looks like for Virgo and the past person. Karmic tie. Pretty damn heavy ass karmic tie too, though. There's potential here, man. And I think you know there's potential too. That's probably why those of you who really need to hear this message have been struggling to let this go. Because you know. Not you think, not you're sure, you know. That if the two of you got on the same page at the same time, working towards the same goal, y'all can move motherfucking mountains together, bro. And you know this. You know this. But it doesn't really look like much of anything's happening. Not really. Both of you, I think, feel this karmic tie. Yes, they feel it too. You're not making that up in your head. Yes, you own quite a bit of space in their head too, just like they do yours. But neither of you are really doing anything here. Not really. Let's see how they feel about you. I'm not going to keep spinning in circles on some silence. Let's see how they feel about you. They want to talk to you. They do want to talk to you. But they got that guard up, though. Oops. They know what they want to say to you. Looks like they got feelings for you. They want to reconcile with you. Well, what the fuck? This don't make no damn sense. It probably don't make no sense to you either. That's why you're coming to me. Well, here's the trick. In order to be able to read someone's intentions, they actually have to have intentions. They actually have to have intentions to be able to read them. If you have somebody that's so damn confused that they don't even have intentions one way or the other, there are no intentions to read. They don't know what they want. If that makes any sense at all. I don't even know how to describe this. I've seen this come through before, but it's not been very many times. Not been very many times at all, where it's like they do miss you, they do love you, they want to reconcile with you, they do want to be with you, but for some unknown reason, the thought of that scares the ever-loving fuck out of them. For some reason. And the only thing it's up for speculation at that point as to what that reason is. If I had to give it an intuitive shot in the dark, I would speculate that what they're really scared of is repeating the cycle. That's the only thing that makes sense to me in my mind. That's the only logical explanation. They're afraid of it looping around and repeating the same cycle all over again. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. But it's not even telling me here. It's all up for debate. It's all up for speculation. They don't even fucking know. They don't even know. They don't have a clue. Now, I don't have the card for it here. But did this person have an addiction? If they didn't, this is the type of energy that most people, not everybody, but a lot of people, turn to some sort of substance to try to numb out of their mind. Because there is no resolution. They don't know how to deal with it. There's no resolution. It's a black hole. It's an empty fucking pit of nothingness. Anyway, I'm diving too far down the speculation rabbit hole. But anyway, let's get the advice. That's a toughie, man. That one's a tricky one. What's the advice? You already know what I'm about to tell you. First things first. Before you do anything, before you move on, or before you attempt reconciliation, the old cycle has to be closed out and cleared. Has to. Has to. This isn't Rich Lopp's little theory. This is a universal law. This is the law of frequency equalization. Since the primary law is the law of vibration, You have to equalize the vibration that you want to tune into. If you don't close out the old cycle and clear the old energy, then you're still equalizing the vibration that was present when the two of you separated. So if you're still tuned into that vibrational frequency, anything you experience in your life is going to harmoniously resonate with that experience. It's just like being tuned into a radio station. That is a much more accurate analogy than you would think. Much more. You are just like a biological radio. Now, let's say you're tuned into 93.1 top country hits. I think I kind of stand alone in this, but I can't fucking stand country music. The shit gives me a goddamn headache, right? But if that's the station I'm tuned into, it's going to keep repeating the same experience. Every song is going to be a country song. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean I'm doing something wrong. I don't like what I'm experiencing, but it keeps repeating itself and repeating itself and repeating itself and repeating itself because I'm tuned into that frequency. Right? Every artist I listen to is going to be a different artist, same experience. Every person you meet, different person, same experience. Because that's the frequency you're tuned into. So get closure, or give this person closure. Now, I use that phrase loosely because you technically can't give someone closure. You know, not really. Doesn't quite work like that. But at least you can shoot this person a closure message. For those of you who haven't heard me talk about this before, this is a very tedious process. Your energy and intentions have to be on fucking point or it won't work. When you get closure from somebody, closure is nothing but closure. All it means is I'm clearing the air. Suspend any and all expectations of outcome. If you have expectations of how you would want that conversation to go, your energy isn't in the right spot. If you had any hidden ulterior motives of something other than closure happening as a result of this conversation, your energy's not in the right spot. It's not a conversation. I'm not having a conversation with you. This is not a back and forth. This is me letting you know for no reason other than simply for the sake of you knowing that the air is clear on my end. I hold no ill will towards you. I wish you love, light, success, and happiness, and I want you to stay blessed. That's it. That's it. That's it. I don't care how you respond. I don't care if you respond. I'm clearing the air on my end. Right? A lot of people have a hard time giving themselves permission to do that. It doesn't mean that I'm shutting the door on this for good. It doesn't mean we're getting back together. It means I'm clearing the air. I'm not even going to think about what I want to do until that energy is cleared. And it takes a while for that energy to clear. It takes a while. So I would highly advise that if you do shoot this person a closure message and they respond lovingly, you be real. You don't want to jump head first back in, because it takes a minute for that energy to clear. If you shoot that person a closure message and they're like, oh my God, I miss you so much. I've been thinking about you. I've been dreaming about you. I heard your favorite song on the radio yesterday. I keep driving past your favorite restaurant. You keep popping up in my head. I miss you. I love you. I miss you. I love you. And you're like, oh my God, okay, let's get back together. And you jump head first into that. That energy didn't clear. Energy clearing in this dimension is a slow process. So you jump head first into that, got about a 90% chance it's going to loop back around and repeat the same cycle all over again. You want to take that process slow. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but in my personal experience, I've done this several times over the last decade. I've done it about 7 times in the last 10 years since I really stepped on to it. Was 10 years ago this year, right around this time of year. Right around my 28th birthday, when I was living in a homeless shelter, that I first stepped onto my manifestation path. It was right after I had turned 28. So it was right at this exact same time of year. 10 years ago. And ever since then, I've been on my manifestation path since right after I turned 28. I just turned 38 back on the 5th. And between ages 28 and 38, I have done this about 7 times. Had to reach out and give someone closure, because I just couldn't shed the energy on my own. That shit was just hanging on me and eating at me, and I transmuted most of it, but there's still that pesky fucking energy cord that I just could not shed on my own. So I'll look somebody up, shoot them a closure message, even if it's somebody I ain't seen in 15 years. No, it's awkward, it's weird, it's cringy, it's embarrassing, it feels weird, and it feels awkward. For some reason, what I've noticed every single fucking time, 8 weeks. I don't know why. I don't know if that's just me. But the magic number for me is always 8 weeks. 8 weeks after I do that, if I stop and feel this out, feel this connection out with this person, I feel a dramatic shift energetically. A dramatic shift. I do not feel the energetic tie that was once there. I feel like almost tangible, palpable weight lifted off my shoulders. And then ask yourself what you want to do with this. Then, once the energy is cleared, then sit and think, okay, do I want to reconnect with this person or continue moving forward with my life? Don't cross that bridge until you fucking get to it. You don't get to that bridge until the energy is clear. All right. Let's take another little look and see how things are looking generally for the singles. Not gonna lie, man, going into this retrograde season, for most of the signs, it's been kind of slow for singles, but Leo had a pretty decent one, so maybe you will too. How are things looking generally for the single Virgos last half of February 2026? Uh-oh, we got that karmic wheel, though. Is there somebody at the workplace for some of you? I hate to get too specific right off the bat, but I'm getting a real heavy workplace energy. Like somebody you feel a really strong feeling of soul recognition with. Because I got karmic wheel, 3 of Pentacles. Hate to get that specific. It doesn't have to be at the workplace, but I feel like for a lot of you it is. I see somebody here that you really have your eye on. Like, really have your eye on. Some of you may even, like, dream about this person. Or maybe, like, some of you, to go all the way out on that limb, may have even said things like, I swear I've met you before. Or I had a dream about you when I was a little kid type shit, And that's what I like to call soul recognition. Once we get up into higher dimensions, it gets so complicated, dude. It gets deja vu. You know what deja vu is? It's really simple. It's when your consciousness accidentally slips out of the 3rd dimension and into the 5th. In the 5th dimension, there isn't linear time. In the 5th dimension, you are experiencing the forward arrow of time and the backward arrow of time simultaneously. That's why it feels like I've been here before, even though I've never been here before. The forward arrow of time and the backward arrow of time simultaneously. Everything is in the now, right? That's why everything seems so familiar. Sometimes, for whatever reason, a particular person, a particular member of your soul family can trigger a really intense feeling of past life and or pre-birth memories. And that's what I'm feeling here. You feel that really strong with somebody. Now, I don't want to discourage anybody. Let me figure out how I'm going to word this. But that in and of itself isn't intrinsically indicative of an individual who is actually supposed to play a major role in your life. It can be. Oh, it can be. But not intrinsically. Like, I know I felt that when I met my divine life partner. I was like, where the fuck do I know you from? I know you. I remember asking her the first time we FaceTimed, I was like, I know you're from Southern California. This is going to be a strange question, but have you ever like been an extra in a movie or something? And she said, no. I was like, okay, well, have you ever been like a content creator? Did you ever put videos on the internet or something? Like, I've seen you from somewhere. It's driving me fucking nuts. You know, so it's very possible that people who are meant to play a tremendous role in your life can trigger that in you, but not intrinsically. You know, if you think back, it's not uncommon for me, at least I've experienced that with people who never amounted to a hill of shit in my life. It's just that's a really close, tight member of your soul family. You see what I'm saying? So with the Two of Swords, though, doesn't really look like a decision is being made. It doesn't. Let me see how they feel about you. How this person feel about Virgo. This looks like somebody that's not even really trying to get into a relationship, honestly. Yeah. This looks like somebody whose energy... Now, I do think they feel an abnormally strong connection with you. I'm not saying they don't. So you're not making that up in your head. That's one of my most frequently asked questions. And somebody will come to me who's experiencing this and ask me, am I just crazy? No, you're not crazy. Yes, they feel it too. However, there is somebody else that's taking up more of their energy. You know? And usually it's a fairly recent relationship that ended. You know? Usually. So they do feel it. They do. But right now, I kind of feel like this person's a little bit afraid and they're guarded. You know, and if somebody's in that place of fear like that, that feeling of soul recognition can scare the shit out of somebody. If they're at that place where their heart's broken and they're vulnerable, and then they meet somebody and they feel that real strong connection, it can scare the ever-loving fuck out of somebody. Like, oh, no, I'm not going through that shit again. Nope, they throw their walls 10 miles high, bro. So yes, they feel it. I think they're scared. They're scared because they're still in a place where they have very fresh, or if it's not fresh, it's just still very unhealed heartbreak. So I guess let's get some advice. Temperance. I hate giving that advice. Some of y'all are like, man, I've been fucking patient with this person. God damn. I know. Hang on, let me see what else comes through. Because, like, that, I don't like giving that advice because it's too easy for tension to build. Because patience is a very slippery slope. You can be patient on the outside while you're about to fucking explode on the inside, right? So, really at the end of the day, I'll just put it to you like this. If you're just hanging around waiting for this to go somewhere on its own, it's not. Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. So I would recommend that you either A, put forth some kind of action to see if you can get this moving in a different direction, or just shut yourself off to it altogether. If you don't want to put any feelings or anything like that on the table, I don't blame you. I'm not saying you should. What I'm saying is, if you don't, it's guaranteed to not go anywhere anytime soon. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So you can either A, say, well, it's better to shoot my shot and get rejected than to live my life wondering what if. You could take that route, in which case there'll probably be a little bit reserved. I'll be honest with you. They'll probably be pretty fucking reserved. You know, it would probably take a lot of patience to really get this person to let their guard down if you wanted to be patient like that. You know, but this is one of them tedious situations where if you push just a little too hard, it could turn into some drama that you don't want to be a part of. So, all I can really tell you is what I would do in situations like that. In situations like that, whenever I would come across somebody when I was single and mingling that I was interested in, I would very calmly just see how gently I can nudge the situation. You know, the first thing I'll do if I'm interested in you is I would approach you and see if you're interested in even communicating with me. If it was easy to talk to you, all right, now I'm going to make it my goal to do this regularly. You know, so now for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to go out of my way to start up conversations with you until we got a decent little like friendship or whatever, especially if it's at the workplace, you know, and then when it feels like we're cool and it's not weird, I'll look you up on social media, friend request, boom, you accept it, you know, then I'll start commenting on your shit, see how responsive you are to me, and I'll get that going for a couple of weeks. You know, so we're getting closer, slowly but surely. And then once it gets to the point where it's not weird, I move to the inbox, you know, and chat it up like that. And then same thing. Once it gets to a point where it's not fucking weird, then I ask for your number, right? Texting, talking, and then once it gets to the point where it's not that weird, hey, you want to hang out outside of work? You know, hey, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And on the times that it didn't work, if you showed me that you're like, all right, if you shut it down, if I got that energy from you, I'm not fucking interested. All right, then. Cool. Fuck it. That's really all you can do. So take your pick as to how you want to. If you don't want to do all that, I don't blame you. It's some work. But, yeah, that's, like I said, be careful and patient with this situation, okay? All right, y'all, I feel like those were the messages that my Virgo family needed to hear, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is all down here in the description, all right? I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity.